Cheers.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Thursday, May 14th. This is episode number 348. I'm your host, Rod Bloom. Joining me today is my brother, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
Well, it's going great, Rod. We know what game we're going to.
That's a great start. Yeah, the big schedule drop, which we'll talk about, which everybody's talking about. So gives us some news to talk about in kind of a quiet period of time for the Browns right now.
Yeah.
Joining us back for his second time on the podcast is our friend Fleazy. Follow him at 513 Fleazy on X. Hey, Fleazy, how's it going?
Going great, Rod. How's it going?
It's going good, man. Good to have you back.
Well, thank you for having me back. My second time around. I guess I'm a Browns Blitz alumni, as you could call it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're part of the club. Part of the club, man. So so I guess first of all, I just wanted to ask how you're doing. I know you did you have was it a surgery that you had a while back?
No, it wasn't a surgery,
Was it
no,
an
but
accident?
no, it wasn't an accident either. I deal with some autoimmune issues. It was a real bad flare.
Okay.
It got really bad, but I bounced back better than ever. So
Okay. I just
thank
knew
you
you
for
had
asking, though.
Yeah, I knew you had some health stuff going on.
Glad
I
to
just
hear
want to make sure you're doing good. So yeah. So we've I kind of like to just kind of get everybody's feelings when they come on the podcast, just to how they're feeling about the team at this point in the year, because there's still a lot of variables and everything. We're just getting the draft picks in, the rookie mini camp that we really don't get to see a whole lot about and everything. You're just kind of guessing how these guys are going to fit in and who's going to make the team. But what's your and I know the answer to this already, but what's your level of optimism for this team, Fleazy, for this year?
It's pretty high right now because I believe that, of course, we all know that the defense is solidified. Um,
Yeah.
and I think the addition of what's it, Emmanuel Wilson McNeil? Did I get that right?
Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Yeah.
McNeil Warren,
Close.
yeah. I know it was something like that. But yeah, the addition of him, I think is gonna make it even better. And I feel like the offense has quickly built a potentially young, explosive core. Now, I said potentially because we don't know what any of these guys really truly have once they get out on the field. But I have high expectations for everyone from, um, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Fano?
Close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, Fano. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing, we'll all figure out these names, and by fall when we hear them said enough times. But yeah, there's a little learning curve this time of year for all of us.
Yeah, so I have high expectations for him. I have high expectations for probably another mispronunciation coming up, Concepcion. And I also have high expectations for Boston, but really, really high expectations for Boston because don't get me wrong, I like the young, fast playmaker that Concepcion could be, but I really, really, really appreciate those big receivers that's gonna get that 3rd and 8, or who's gonna go up and get it in the end zone in the 3rd and 4 in the back corner throw. So I'm really looking forward to see what he's got. I'm on the edge of buying his jersey already, but I'm telling myself not to.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, that's great. I mean, the big receiver is something we haven't had. I mean, Jeff, who's the last guy we've had anywhere near, Denzel Boston's size?
It's been a while.
Anybody you can think of?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been a while.
Nobody even really comes to mind.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, Emmanuel McNeil Warren's a guy who people are really talking about just from the rookie minicamp. I think people are impressed with him, so it's going to be fun to see how he fits in. So let's guys let's talk about what we're drinking. Okay, we're going to do our Blitz beverage segment here.
I have Remy Martin VSOP mixed with Canada Dry Ginger Ale.
Oh wow,
Nice.
nice.
That looks good. Oh,
Awesome.
you probably have enough to share there too, Fleazy. If we could share.
I do have enough to
See?
share.
That's the sharing size bottle.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Rod, I'm into the second of my Best Day Brewing sampler pack. This is a West Coast IPA. I can almost see that.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So I actually this week exchanged emails with one of the brewers out there, just getting some more information on some of the contents of some of these, because there's a Mexican lime, I think, that was made with sea salt, and I wanted to know how much sodium was in it.
Yeah.
So it's enough that I'll probably only have it when I'm not eating anything else, salty. But this one is really good. This is easy for me. I can probably drink a whole bunch of these.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, guys, not to ruin the Blitz beverage segment, but I am drinking a Minute Maid zero sugar pineapple tonight. Right.
Oh man.
I passed on the beer for tonight, but
all right, letting us down, Rod.
Yeah, I'll bring it. I'll bring it back in next week, guys.
All right.
But I'm gonna say cheers anyway. So great segment,
cheers,
guys.
To the 26th season.
Yeah.
26th season. 12 wins.
Woo!
12. All right. Wow. Okay.
How much of that have you hit already, Lazy?
I've had a couple.
Okay.
So guys, I gotta be honest with you. I mean, rookie minicamp's going on, but there's really not a lot out there. I mean, you're getting people's impressions secondhand mostly. There's the footage you're seeing really isn't all that complete and everything. So I'm going to just bring up a couple guys. And Emmanuel McNeil Warren was one of them I was going to bring up. So we've kind of already talked about him.
Yeah.
Another guy who's getting talked about is Aaron Anderson, the wide receiver out of LSU, at UDFA, who apparently has been catching everything. Running great routes, great footwork. He's one of the 5'8" wide receivers, but people seem to think he's really turning heads. This kind of happens every camp, and this is just rookie camp. This isn't even, with everybody, it's not the full training camp. So it's kind of early to get really excited about somebody, but props to him for looking good. Man, this team has gone from having a wide receiver room with a bunch of question marks to having a wide receiver room where it's going to be pretty darn competitive to make this room now, I think, because there's probably 3 or 4 guys that you got to figure are in that room, and then the other guys are fighting for 2 or 3 spots, and there's a lot of other guys. So just want to get your thoughts. I don't know if you guys have seen any footage of training camp, any thoughts on anything you've seen on any of the wide receivers, or just what you might think about the wide receiver room if you haven't seen anything that pertains as far as the rookie minicamp. What do you think, Fleazy?
I know they were saying that KC was having problems with drops in college, but they're saying he's been absolutely sure-handed in rookie minicamp. Then I also saw that Boston said he's already done like 15,000 catches on the jug machine. And Anderson, I actually think he's going to have a very good chance of making this roster because it's two guys that I kind of don't see making the team again. Like I don't see Thrash and Tillman making it again. And I mean, I'm really really rooting for Thrash. Like I don't know what it is about that guy, but I thought he could be the one, but he was barely hanging on at the end of last year. But
Yeah.
yeah, I really think Anderson's really has a chance of making it for sure.
Interesting. What do you think, Jeff?
We've got a lot of guys in that role. So, yeah, you're going to have to really stand out. I think Tillman, really right now is just an insurance policy that, Denzel Boston doesn't get hurt or something happens where he can't play. I mean, because he's the only other guy with size, and we've talked about before. But I wouldn't. Yeah. I agree. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we're looking at the bottom of that room, at least bottom two positions being new guys also. So yeah, there's opportunity for guys like that to see how it shakes out. It's probably going to be a guy who can help us in the kicking game, play some special teams, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Monken's going to be looking for guys that can do multiple things. I think that's kind of the theme this year. Can you contribute in a lot of areas, right?
Yeah.
Right. You guys are both thinking that Bond and Judy both are on the team this year.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So
that's they're both locks as far as I'm concerned this year. I mean,
yeah, that's what
depending on what happens around the trade deadline, you could maybe see Judy moved if somebody was desperate out there. But yeah, he's got too much guaranteed money.
Yeah.
J-Dog.
J-Dog, and J-Dog is a Luke Floria fan.
Yeah, he had a big camp last year and got hurt late and just really never got another chance.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to see more from him.
Yeah. I mean, he could easily be the guy that's fighting Aaron Anderson for that sixth spot.
Definitely. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, guys. I haven't really heard a lot else about rookie camp. Seen a lot of positives. Guys look like they're having a good time and stuff. And all that, and working hard. So, I don't know if there's much specific to talk about there. Let's. I guess before we get into the schedule, because we'll spend some time on that and talking about games and so forth. I gotta get Fleasy's thought, because to me, there's still so much talk about Taylor Green's the other guy. Everybody's watching him and like, and again, the questions are coming up. Is he competing for a starting spot? What's his role going to be? And in every article you look at, people are taking a different angle on that spot. Everybody's like, oh, he's fighting for a spot. Well, I think pretty sure he's making the roster, guys. I think he's going to make the roster because he's on the team to be developed, I believe, in one form or another. I don't think he's fighting for a roster spot right now. That's my thought. But he's making a lot of news. People are still talking a lot about Brendan Sorsby and the, and the potential, the supplemental draft that's probably coming up. And there's still a lot of talk about, obviously the other quarterbacks on the roster. I think there's so much discussion because that's the one position, especially, that's really just not settled on this team. So I think people are really hoping and thinking, man, if we just had an answer at QB this season, this team could really go somewhere. Maybe it'll go somewhere. and it could be that Shedeur Sanders is the answer. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I think people are just kind of looking, hoping that something works out with somebody, and I think people are open to all different things right now. Yeah. So Fleazy, I kind of just wanted to get your take on all the talk and Talon Green and Brendan Sorsby and Shedeur Sanders and DW and whoever you want it, wherever you stand on that stuff, just kind of where your head is right now with the quarterback stuff.
Pretty much, I'm with whoever's going to win us some games, really. But my college football team is actually UC, so I kind of wish they would throw that Brendan Sorsby talk out the window right now, So, but until this team solidifies the quarterback spot, this is going to keep happening every season. Like we have to find an answer now because it's the narrative they want to keep pushing, and I think Shedeur really could be the answer. I mean, I'm not sure if he's got the tools, but I know he's putting in the work to be the answer. Um, I'm not sure about Deshaun Watson. If I had to base off the last time we see him play, I would say no. And I also think Taylor Green's going to make this roster as well. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Dylan, but I think Green's going to be that quarterback 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jeff, any new thoughts or anything to add there? I mean, we've kind of beat the quarterback position up over the last few weeks because it's pretty much what everybody's talking about. Talon Green's fun to talk about.
Yeah. I think we'll always talk about quarterbacks here. We've been talking about quarterbacks since Bernie Kosar. The thing is otherwise we're out of excuses. I mean, they cleaned house and the coaching staff, brought in a bunch of experienced guys who should be able to put together at least a competent team on both sides or all 3 phases, really. From an offensive standpoint, we've plugged in a bunch of really talented pieces through free agency, trade, the draft. We've got a whole bunch of new talent on offense now. Fleazy said, we know what to expect from the defense. So add a high quality number 3 safety to that. What excuses do you have, right? We're going to talk about the schedule in a little bit. That's not an excuse anymore. So really it's quarterback, right? That's it. If we could just get some at least competitive quarterback play this year, we could look like a real professional football team for the first time in quite a while. I don't really care who it is. Just give us some competent quarterback play.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I would like to think that the Browns are going into the season with a plan at quarterback. And to me, I mean, it's felt all along like this really should be Shedeur's season, to see what he has. And then they have the plan. They try to accumulate at least some assets in 27 to where if Shedeur doesn't play up to, the ability they think he should be showing by his second year, that they can go after a guy in the 27 draft. Okay. And if that's the plan, great. But now, I think as fans, especially, and I don't know if the Browns, if their strategy has changed at all, but as fans, we like the shiny stuff. So you see Talon Green out there and you're like, well, I can understand some fans thinking, well, maybe this is a better way to go. Maybe Sorsby, I mean, if you think about it, if things went right with Sorsby, you're getting Sorsby at a discount, and then you got the opportunity to add other players rather than a quarterback in 27. It's like that's kind of a dream scenario. But that's all got to work out right. Things with Talon Green would have to work out right if you were thinking of giving him any reps this season whatsoever. So the whole thing is, do the Browns, are they just going to stick to their plan, and which is probably the smart way to go, or are they
We
going
assume
to?
there is a plan.
Right. Or are they going, well, yeah, I'm assuming there's a plan. Maybe there's not. Maybe it's what Todd Monken is saying is correct, and they're just trying to win as many games as they can this year.
Win this week, right?
Yeah, win this week.
We,
right.
We just need to win this week. Yeah.
Right, but there should be somebody in that building who is trying to work on a long range plan at quarterback, though. That our first plan is hopefully to find somebody who's going to be our quarterback of the future over during this season, and if that doesn't work, here's what we're going to do afterward.
Yeah, I think it would be really optimal to be able to answer that question, and say that, okay, we know that we're going to have a quarterback for the next 10 years or whatever it is, but look around the league at how many teams thought they had that question answered. And from week to week, they just don't know, right? We've talked a lot about Joe Burrow and his talent level, but he gets hurt all the time, and he misses games, right? So the Bengals are a shell of themselves when that happens, right?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think you just have to take it week to week, Rod. We've got 4 guys on the team right now that we think can play at some level and contribute. The odds are in Cleveland that they're probably all going to play at some point.
That's true. And Fleazy, before we get your thoughts, I want to say I'm not talking 10 years because, them.
That's not realistic.
That's not realistic. I mean, we're talking like 3 years in Cleveland. Okay, 3 years
would be awesome.
That'd be a great run in Cleveland.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. I mean, Bernie only had like 5 or 6 that were, consistent, right?
I mean, we're just looking for somebody steady and good that can go out there and play. That would be such a difference maker for this team. It's like expecting somebody to step in and be the next Joe Thomas at left tackle. We're not expecting that. We just need somebody who can play. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just don't drag the team down with you.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. I think everybody is kind of probably still thinking that 27 draft, even after what's happened the last couple drafts with quarterbacks, that 27 draft can still be our savior, that we can still get our savior quarterback. And you have to be realistic.
That's what we thought about the 26 draft.
Yeah.
There's just no guarantee that you're going to be able to find that guy in 27. So I think you just have to take opportunities as they're presented to you. And if it means that we find a reclamation project in the offseason, or we trade for a quarterback, there's all kinds of avenues where you can improve that position on your team. And as soon as the Deshaun Watson contract is a thing of the past and he's off the roster, I think you look at every other option and just trying to get better. And if that means that Shedeur is your starter, terrific. If he's earned that by that point. If there's still some question in your mind, then you bring in more competition wherever you have to get that from. But I wouldn't hold my breath and keep my fingers and toes crossed that we're going to come out of next year's draft with Arch Manning. I'm not even sure he's going to be the solution.
Don't know. So Fleazy, are you a Shedeur guy? Is that who you want to see? Or do you really don't care, right?
I really don't care. I just want to win.
Okay, I agree, 100%, man.
I agree. So how much leash are you giving whoever the starting quarterback is?
Not much.
That's a fair answer, man. That's a fair answer.
Like you said, not much, because we got, like you said, 4 guys on the roster that I mean, we need to see what each one of them can do. So, I mean, if 3 or 4 weeks pass by and the guy's not, and I know it could become tough stretches in the season, but if a couple of weeks go by and the guy's not getting it done, then I say it's time to move on and see what the next guy's got, because this organization needs to find an answer.
Mhm.
Like you said,
Yeah.
since Bernie, I mean, we got one good year 20 years ago out of Derek Anderson. We got a few good years out of Baker. Other than that, quarterback play has been,
It's not been much.
yeah, not great at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not giving much of a leash at all. I mean, like, we need to find the answer.
I think you're one of the few people in Cleveland that doesn't have a real strong opinion on which guy it should be. And I think that's kind of cool because you're rooting for the team, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So I
But
think a lot of us are kind of jaded against Watson, but uh, I think you and the coach are probably looking at it like if the guy can really play, so be it.
I think this team wants to win games, Rod. I think that's why they've done everything they've done in the offseason, is with the idea that they want to win games this year. There's no 3 or 5 year plan to get the perfect quarterback and all that. We could have 3 or 4 more head coaches by then. Just
I,
just win as many games as you can.
I like Monken. I think this schedule is going to help him. So I think he's going
Oh,
to be
for
around for a
sure.
little while. So
Yeah.
a personal question just for Fleazy here: which games is Fleazy looking to attend this year, and why is Jeremiah Smith the pick next year? Jeremiah Smith is Jeremy's pick. He's coming out early with his pick for next year in the draft, Jeff.
And not a defensive player.
Not
what
a
games?
defensive guy.
What games am I attending? Tampa Bay for sure. Week 3 Panthers for sure. Um, Ravens at home. I'm trying to go to Nashville. Week 12 against Vegas,
Okay.
and probably week 18 in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Taking it
Okay.
on the road a number of times.
Wow, nice. Well, if those Bengals tickets. If Joe Burrow is not playing by then, you'd be
Yeah.
able to get those Bengals tickets for about $5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know. I actually saw highlights from a Bengals game. It was before they, like a year or two before they went to the Super Bowl, and I mean that stadium was empty. I'm talking about empty. It was like week 6, and the
Yeah.
stadium was like empty. And then like they go to the Super Bowl, and then
Mhm.
their fans act like they're the most diehard fans. But like you said, if
They're
they're out the
not.
picture. Yeah, I'll be able to get those tickets for $5, like you
Eh,
said.
I work with some Bengals fans, and as soon as Burrow goes down, uh, we can wear jerseys and stuff on Fridays, and as soon as Burrow goes down, the jerseys stop. They're done.
Well, I actually moved to Cincinnati last March. I live in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So,
Really?
I didn't
yeah,
know that, Fleazy.
yeah,
Okay.
I've been here a little over a year now, and the same thing. I mean, like, every week they were coming into work, who they this and Bengals this, and after a couple weeks, it went away. I didn't see
It
another
stopped.
Bengals anything. And then when they got Flacco and they beat Pittsburgh that Thursday night game, it came back for a day, but it quickly went away again.
That's how they
Yeah.
are. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
that's how they're. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay. Guys, I just want to give a little shout out here. Barry Shook of Dogs by Nature, who's been on the show a couple times. he's done a series of articles on all of the draft choices and a couple of the UDFAs. And these are very in-depth pieces. So definitely check out Dogs by Nature. Go to Barry's his X account, which I think is just under his name, and check these out. They're really cool. I haven't read all of them. I had a chance to go through several, and just a lot of really cool information. So if you want to get familiar with some of the draft picks, really great way to do it there. So, and we appreciate Barry keeping us informed on stuff like that. So
yeah. Jeremy wants you to go to Baltimore and hang out with him in his backyard.
Tell him to come to Cincinnati. Maybe we can all meet up.
Right.
In January, if it's not too cold.
Oh, jeez. I don't think I'm doing that one.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, Felicia and I are right here. Yeah, I don't know if Jeremy would come all the way to Cincinnati, but anyways, yeah, you guys ready to look at the schedule?
Sure.
I mean, the schedule came out at 7:30, but man, the leaks were already there. It was out kind of mid to late afternoon, and it was all correct. Everything that everybody told, everybody leaked or was putting out. So, man, it's kind of a wild schedule for the Browns. And I guess statistically, the Browns do have the easiest schedule. But I always go back to there are no easy games in the NFL thought too. So you don't want to get too cocky seeing a schedule, because a couple things, you're still playing an NFL team each week, and the schedule does have a tendency to change as you go through the season. Some teams look better, some teams look worse as you go through it. But right now, it sure as heck looks like a schedule that the Browns have a great chance to compete in, be in every game, and pick up some serious wins, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, but it's really set up funky, guys, with the mix of the home games and the road games and the order of these games.
Yeah.
The bye is week 11. Do you guys like week 11 as a bye week? I don't think you want, the week. What's the earliest bye week? Like 3 or 4, which is just not good. Week 11 is probably pretty decent, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it is. And I mean, it's between a couple of home games, and it's right when you're sort of in the thick of your home schedule. So it does give them a chance to get healthy and maybe make a push the last 7 weeks of the season. So I think all in all, that's a good spot for the bye. That's one of the few problems I don't have with the schedule is when the bye is. I mean, there's no easy games in the NFL, but there certainly are hard ones that going in are going to be hard, right?
Right.
I mean, Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh is a hard game, right? And we know the Ravens are going to be tough. We seem to play the Bengals pretty well, but if you look at the rest of the opponents, I don't see any Super Bowl contenders there. I see 2 or 3 fringe playoff teams, but I don't see anybody that I'm circling and saying, boy, this is going to be a really hard game. And that scares me a little bit, because somebody's going to surprise us, and they're going to be a lot harder than we think they are going in.
Well, always, yeah.
But all in all, I mean, it looks like a very favorable schedule to a new coaching staff and a very young team trying to figure out how to win.
Yeah, I think just looking at it, I mean, the Texans is probably the team I would be the most afraid of right now, but that it's actually a home game, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even looking at the division games; those are what they are every season. But the rest of the games, Other than the fact that the schedule's kind of set up like a baseball schedule where you have a long homestand and then you're on the road for 2 or 3 games at a time, it's like,
right.
who planned this thing out? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, and just being backloaded with home games makes no sense. You know, you're in a really cold market here, and we're playing the Colts, who have a dome stadium. We're playing them here on January 3rd. That makes no sense at all to me. If you're going to play the Colts, play them there in the winter. You know.
Right. That makes sense.
Right.
So Fleazy, what else stands out to you about the schedule? Anything in particular?
I just think that pretty much I'm looking at it. I got it on my screen right here. I'm just looking at it. When I look at it, I just think it's a lot of teams on the schedule that's pretty much like in the same position that we're in. They're like near us, like the Giants, the Raiders, the Jets. I mean, the Jaguars and the Titans. I mean, they might have took a little step ahead last season, but they could always go right back to what they've been. I believe the Jaguars really probably only had their season that they had last year just because we had their draft pick. Like, that's just the way it works out for us.
that was good for like 5 wins right there, right, guys?
Right. So.
Like, oh my gosh, yeah. Trade with the Browns, it's sure to get you some wins.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I think the Jaguars are one Trevor Lawrence injury or regression away from being a bad team again.
Right.
Well, and we don't have any of their picks, so they'll probably win like 4 games this year.
Yeah, they'll probably have the first pick next year.
As long as one of them is not against us.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
So yeah, as we were sitting and looking at the schedule, Rod, trying to figure out what game we wanted to go to, this is a really hard schedule for people to buy tickets to. You know, we looked at what was available. There's only 3 home games in the first month of this, or 2 months of the season. 2.5 months, right?
Yeah.
There's
2.5
months of the season. There's only 3 home games, and I'm going to be out of town for one of them. So that makes it really tricky. One's on a Thursday night, so you can't go to that. So we only had really one option in terms of the games that we could go to.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to pick.
Unless you want to wait until it's ball numbing cold out.
Yeah, that Texans game is what's the date on that Texans game?
November 15th.
Yeah, unless you want to go in November, you've only got just 3 choices, so it's kind of wild. Right. I mean, hopefully the weather's decent into November and December, and people will be able to get out to the games and enjoy them.
Maybe there's a method to their madness here by scheduling all of these freezing cold weather games at the end of the season. Maybe they're trying to condition the Browns fans to say, get that dome built.
We're ready for it now. Yeah, we're ready for it.
Yeah, we're going to stop complaining about you closing down this stadium and building a dome. We're just gonna be comfortable inside.
That's why they put the Florida games at the beginning of the schedule too.
Right.
So if you do go on the road, you're going to New York or Baltimore or Cincinnati. You can't go anywhere warm. And the Colts game's not indoors either. So if you want to see the team anywhere, you're outdoors in the cold in the last 2-3 months of the season.
Right, exactly.
That's your only choice.
That makes perfect sense. So if all these fans that say they love football in cold weather, there you go.
Support your team.
Right.
Make your last stand against the dome.
I'll be watching from my sofa.
For those, yeah.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
Yeah, how about we just run through this real quick and kind of get your impressions? I'm not talking scores or anything on these games, just real quick.
Yeah.
The Browns start out with these 2 games in Florida, at the Jags and at the Bucks. I mean, Jags were a playoff team, and the Bucks, I think, just missed the playoffs. So they got those 2 games in Florida. How are you guys feeling about those 2 games, and what would be an acceptable record after those 2 games for you guys?
I'll take 1-1. I'll take 1-1, either or. I feel like we can beat both, but I think 1-1. If we could go 1-1, that'll be good after both of those teams. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. We talked last week, I think, with Casey about not facing teams with really tough defenses to challenge our young offense early, um, and really trying to get out to a bit of a faster start with a new group of guys on offense. It could have been worse, I guess, in terms of who we're facing right out of the gate. But these two are not optimal.
No,
I think if you snuck out of those first two games with one win, I think you'd have to be really happy.
I think so. I don't think the Buccaneers is an ideal matchup with their offense. Our defense hopefully can hold their offense down, but I mean they've got a pretty strong offense.
Yeah.
It'll just depend how well how long it takes the Browns offense to gel in that offensive line and see which quarterback's playing, how they're doing, and see if we can put some points up. So
yeah.
I think 1-1. Either way, 1-1, you're feeling pretty good. Then they come home and they host the Panthers. Panthers made the playoffs this year, kind of one of the big stories in the league. So
they're trending upward.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. So I guess you just got to see what happens in that game. That's a home game. And then the Browns, we'll just move on because I don't want to get just predictions on every single game, guys.
Yeah.
Then the Browns host the Steelers the following Thursday night, and I didn't look at the Steelers' schedule, but I would have a feeling that the Steelers probably have some kind of an advantage where they either don't play the week before or they play, an earlier game the week before or something, because they always get an advantage before they play Cleveland. But anyways, Steelers Thursday night in Cleveland.
That's the game I'm circling, Rod.
Yeah,
I'm circling that game because you're coming off of another home game on a short week, okay, against your first division opponent. And I think by that point in the season, we should have the offense figured out. We should be able to score some points, right?
We should, yeah.
So if I'm looking at those two games together, right, the Panthers and the Steelers, I'm thinking, okay, I want to play the Panthers tough, but I'm really circling that Steelers game. I want to have my team ready to play on Thursday night when the Steelers get here. And if I can win that game, I really don't care too much about the Panthers game. I think they're going to be a tough team. I think they're going to be very competitive. We could potentially win that game, but really what I want to do is get our offense figured out so we're scoring some points so that we're ready to play the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, my main concern with that Steelers game is Mike Tomlin's no longer in Pittsburgh, and he never won on Thursday nights.
Yeah, that's true.
But let's hope that trend continues for the team.
But, if you come out of those first 4 weeks 2-2, and you've got a division win out of those first 4 weeks, and now your team sort of has it figured out going into the Jets game, I think you can start stringing together some wins.
Yeah. What do you think, Fleazy? How you feeling about those two games and the record up to that point?
Like you said, Panthers are trending upward. So that could go either way. I like the Steelers game because, like you said, it's a division game, could always go either way. And for the last few years, Thursday night has been the Browns' night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's how I look at it. So, yeah, if you can come out of that 1-1, and you're sitting at 2-2 in week 4, you have a chance to be in first place in the North.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Then the Browns start kind of they're on the road 4 out of 5 weeks. So they're at the Jets, home for the Ravens, at Tennessee, at Pittsburgh, at New Orleans. All these road games all in a row.
Yeah.
Games in New York or in New Jersey, wherever the heck they play. The Jets, they've not been real kind to the Browns.
Right.
But that's a
Yeah.
team we have to compete against, right, guys? I mean, they're a young team.
Yeah.
I know they're adding talent and everything, but man, those guys are young, just like the Browns are.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about that Jets game? Don't we still owe the Jets something?
Yeah.
A couple
More
of
than
times,
something.
right? Yeah, a few
Couple
games,
something
right?
somethings. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I feel like the Browns have. I don't know why I say I feel like the Browns should beat the Jets, but it seems like we just have a problem with beating teams that we should beat.
They have our number. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, last season, yeah.
Yeah, like last season we should have beat them. I don't know if the year we went to the playoffs, the year when all our receivers caught COVID. Remember that game? And even with all our team out, we still should have beat them that game, but they had our number. Yeah, we owe them one. So
Yeah.
I definitely would like to see us get that one, but I would rather have that Ravens game more so than that Jets game.
Well,
I
say
agree.
no more. We will all be at that game, so just mark that one down as a win. Okay, that's
Right.
a win. And the next 3 games on the road, guys: Titans, Steelers, Saints. I don't know. Is that a tough stretch, guys?
Yes.
It's always hard to win in Pittsburgh, like I said before. I think those other 2 are winnable. Again, it just depends on where we are in terms of firing on all cylinders offensively.
Yeah. I mean,
road games are always tough. So, yeah, that's a tough stretch.
I mean, I would think that at Steelers, at Saints, home for Texans, that's probably the toughest stretch of the schedule, right? Those 3 games probably together.
I agree.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know how many games you expect to win out of those 4 games. Because or how many are you hoping to win?
Yeah.
2-2. I feel
Lazy's
good
2-2.
I'd feel good at 2-2.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, overall, if this team's a 500 team this year, I think everybody will be happy.
Yeah. I think so.
And it could be 2 or 3 games one way or the other, wins and losses.
Yeah.
Looking at a fairly easy schedule, if you had everybody doing what they're supposed to do, and all your ducks in a row, and everything lines up right. You could make a run this year and really win a lot of games. Okay, but you could also have tons of excuses why you didn't win games with a young group of guys, right? So that road schedule is going to be a real challenge for these young players. But the good news is we're doing it early in the season.
Right.
The challenge for college players, for these young guys, is when you start getting beyond week 10. They're just not used to playing that long a schedule. So
they get a bye.
Being home, right?
Week 11.
Being home and having a bye week 11 and being home for the last part of the season, I think will really help those guys to acclimate to the longer NFL schedule. Whether that equates to wins or not, we'll have to see. But I mean, it's really very, very favorable for what the Browns are trying to do this year.
Right. So, guys, if in fact the Browns are able to do kind of what we're talking about and able to make it through those first 10 weeks, and they're sitting at 5-5 at the bye, how do you think they would be sitting in the division, and would you be feeling like they would have a shot at playoffs?
I would think at 5-5, we would definitely be sitting, if not at the top, close to it, because I don't think anyone's a definite front runner. And Yeah, I think we'll be in position for the playoffs because out of those last 7 games, I would say, I mean, that could be a 5-2 stretch for this team if things are going well. But it could also be 0-7 if the Browns, you know. So we'll never know until we get there.
Well, Felicia, if we're getting to 12 wins, it's going to have to be 7-0.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be
Yeah.
7-0. I mean, we
Yeah.
might get hot. We might come out that bye week hot, but
Yeah, yeah.
So the divisional games are well spread out this year. You know, you've got 3 on each side of the bye. I don't know how I haven't looked at the other teams in the division, what their schedules look like. But if we can take a game from the Steelers here and a game from the Ravens here and be 2-1 in the division, to me, that's important. Our path to the playoffs is going to be through the division.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a down year, I think, for the North Division anyway, just with all the turmoil that's gone on in the offseason, firing head coaches and, you know, roster turnovers and stuff. So I think if you're sitting there at the bye and you're 5-5, but you've got a 2-1 division record, you really are kind of going to be in control of your own destiny in terms of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And, you know, finishing up with the Bengals in whatever week 18 that is, that could be determining who wins the division.
Yeah, Fleazy, are we getting a little carried away talking about winning the division, or are you feeling it?
no,
Well, it hasn't happened since 1989.
I feel like we have a better chance of winning the division than the wild card.
Yeah, I agree. I only think one team from our division is going to the playoffs.
I think that's very realistic, guys. So,
yeah.
Let's see. James, I'm saying 10-7. I don't care. Sure, Sanders leading us to a wild card. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
and
could happen.
Sweep of Pittsburgh would. That'd be probably just as sweet as a wild card.
That would be awesome.
We would take that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. We would take
happy.
that.
I'd be happy.
We're going to go back to Jeremy's question, and this has come up. And no, you do not extend him.
Yeah.
No, I think
at this point, best case scenario for Deshaun Watson at this point is he signs a 1-year prove-it deal with somebody next year. And best case for us is that it's with someone else.
Yeah, there's articles out there already saying these are the teams that are going to want him next year.
Good.
That's a bunch of bull. Okay, they can have him right now if they want. Okay, just pick up 3/4 of his salary for this year, and you can have him. You don't even have to give us anything.
He's going to have to prove that he can play first.
Yeah.
And to Jeremy's point, I mean, if he comes in and he wins the starting job and he gets us to 6-4 at the bye, it's going to be real hard. I mean, that's going to be, that's going to be right around the trade deadline, right? When's the trade deadline going to be? It's going to be around the Saints game, I think. I
think it's between the Steelers and the Saints game.
Yeah, somewhere in that range, right? So, so he would have to be like first 7 weeks, he would have to be like 5-2 or something, right?
Yeah.
4-3 is going to sell you on him, right? Just depends on how he's playing, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's still going to want him.
Yeah, James, I would trade Jacoby Brissett straight up for Watson right now.
Yeah,
I know they have Jacoby Brissett. So yeah, I mean the last. It's even hard to speculate on those last 7 games because you don't know who's healthy, who's doing well. But the Browns really should have an opportunity to compete in all of those games. You would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
just depending on how the team's playing, the health of the team and the health of the opponents, kind of what the season's down to once you get to week 12 in the NFL. It's just a reality. But yeah, it's.
I believe that this organization believes that it can win now. Not necessarily that we're contending for a championship, but I think all the offseason moves were made because of that belief that they think that this roster is better than it's been the last couple of years, and that you have enough now with what has happened in the offseason to be competitive in the NFL. And you don't have to be great to be competitive in the NFL. Anybody can win week in and week out, right? You just have to be competent. And if we're competent on offense and competent in special teams, our defense can carry us to wins, right? So this is the optimistic season. This is when we're supposed to be looking forward to, making the playoffs, winning lots of games, and not making excuses for why we can't, right? So,
right.
And as it looks right now, we can win a bunch of games this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Bro, ain't even going to make it to the bye. Come on.
Well, this goes back to the fact that we see 3 to 4 quarterbacks play for the Browns almost every season.
Yeah,
I'm not the reality.
I'm not counting on Deshaun Watson playing the first 10 weeks. I mean that would be a crazy scenario that he actually made it that long. I 100% agree that it's unlikely. Right. Only thing I'm saying is what would he have to do to be attractive to another team, or somebody want to invest in him next year? He would have to do something along those lines. He would have to show longevity. He would have to show productivity, and those things are very unlikely at this point in his career. I think he's much more likely to prove this year that he can be a competent backup someplace.
That's possible. Yeah, I think it'd be more interesting to see how many games, especially if he is the week 1 starter, how long we can see Shador play. Because we haven't been able to keep a quarterback on the field the past how many seasons, guys? It's been. I don't know the most games anybody's played over the last 3, 4, 5 seasons. I mean, it's probably going back to Baker since you've had anybody play even a majority of a season, right?
Right. Correct. Yeah, and he only did that a couple times.
Yeah.
And so, it's an important role in the NFL, having a competent backup, and it's usually a veteran that has some history that can come in and do that. You'd love to see Taylor Green develop into that kind of a role in the short term, right? Maybe not even thinking about his long-term career path, but in the short term, you'd love to see him develop into that role. But that's a lot for a rookie. It's better.
Yeah.
It's better laid in the lap of a guy who's got some experience. Jacoby Brissett's a great one. I mean, he's done it a whole bunch of places. But he still thinks he can be a starter.
Well, I think he is the Arizona starter. I think they just signed him to like a 2 or 3 year contract worth some money.
Right. So Deshaun Watson probably isn't going to be there. But if I'm Todd Monken, and I'm charged with winning games, right? If Deshaun Watson shows him anything in camp, I think that's who he has to play because he's trying to win games, right? And it's much easier than when Deshaun Watson shits the bed to go to the rookie or to the second-year player, right? I think versus the other way around. You don't want to start Shador in the beginning of the season with a brand new offense and then have things go sideways and then have to pull him and just destroy his confidence. I don't think that makes any sense.
Right, because then you're kind of stuck. Because then if Watson doesn't have it, I mean, what are you going to do?
Right. Then who's your quarterback?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you really don't.
Do you go back to Shador after pulling him? I don't know. I mean,
and guys, you just don't. You don't want to be playing Taylor Green in week 4 or 5. that's just going to be a recipe for disaster.
This is really the same scenario we talked about last year. Is that we wanted Joe Flacco to get the offense to a level of competency in the first few weeks. We knew those games were going to be hard, and we said, well, if Joe Flacco can at least get the offense on the same page and get it functional, then you can plug a rookie in, and he's not facing so many challenges. We added a lot of pieces this year, but I still think it's an offense that has to gel. It's going to take a few weeks, right? So let's let the veteran do that for us. Not that I want to see him play, but I think he may make the most sense.
Yeah, I think so. So Fleazy, just before we wrap up here, who of the new players, the drafted players and so forth, who are you most excited about, other than Emmanuel McNeil Warren, who we've talked about a couple times? Anybody else that really stands out to you?
Joe Royer.
UC guy. Okay.
Yeah, UC guy. But I mean, I'm a little bit biased, but he also reminds me of remember Jordan Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of he puts me in the mind of him, and I like Jordan Cameron a lot. I just don't think he had the mindset for the NFL. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Joe Royer can do out there with Fanning.
Nice one.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, he's the UC choice this year, Jeff.
UC / Buckeye.
Yeah,
he did.
Covering all our bases with one pick.
Yeah, we joked because the Browns draft one guy out of UC each year, pretty much. So it's pretty cool. Very cool. Yeah. So, okay, well, I think we've covered the schedule and all that. Any news I missed or anything, guys? Really not a whole heck of a lot of other stuff going on.
Just a couple of minor things, Rod. I don't remember if we mentioned that Warren did sign his contract. So the only guy that's not signed now is Concepcion.
Yeah.
And that should be happening soon. A couple of guys came in this past week. Elijah Chapman, they picked up on waivers from the Giants as a D tackle. We're still trying to figure out who the depth guys are going to be at D tackle. And I don't think you mentioned Jalen Rieger has been making a bunch of news in camp. Former number 1 pick of the Eagles. Another small guy, but he was a first-round pick, so he kind of flamed out, but we're giving him another look, and I guess he's been kind of interesting so far.
Okay. I'll just be flat out honest. It's been a busy week for me, guys. I missed both of those.
Well, yeah, me too.
I missed both of them.
I probably missed some things too.
Yeah. We got a couple things going on at home that are kind of pulling my attention away. Not to mention that the Cavaliers, when I do have time, I've been staying up too late watching Cavs games that go into overtime.
That was ridiculous last night.
But they got the win, so it's all good. But yeah. That's cool. That's good stuff, guys. So, So Fleazy, hey, it's been great catching up with you, talking with you. Love having you on the show. Is there any closing words, any words of wisdom you want to leave everybody who's happens to be watching with?
I just want to say thank you for having me, and just want to give a quick shout out to my Browns family, Brown Spider, First Lady, J Dog, Linda. Hi, y'all. I hope y'all are watching. And thank you, Rod, and thank you, Jeff, man. It's been great. I wasn't nowhere near as nervous, so next time I'm going to be a star.
You did great,
you did good, man.
You did great. I feel like we got the real Fleazy this time, so very cool. Very cool having you. So, Jeff, any closing words tonight?
Well, we bought tickets, Rod. I mean, this is sort of like the pinnacle of the off season, right? The day that we buy tickets. So hopefully the enthusiasm continues. And Fleazy, we'll see you in October.
See you in October. Do you guys know where y'all going to tailgate? West 3rd, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably so.
Probably, yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll be in touch. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. This has been the Browns Blitz. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.